Did you miss your deadline to renew your Medicaid coverage? You can still send your completed annual review form to Healthy Connections Medicaid. You may be assigned to another health plan, but you can ask to come back to First Choice within 60 days of renewed Medicaid eligibility. It's your family. It's your choice. First Choice is the right choice. Renew and choose us. Visit selecthealthofsc.com/renew to learn more.
My name is Terry Linch. I'm with Oregon Ufology. I found myself searching for a passageway one day. And that passageway leads right across the complete section of the Cascades, which I'm sitting in front of at the moment. On top of one peak. I want to make sure that everybody sees the type of things that we find in the process of research for ufology. I have located a couple that's sitting here on the top of Blind Peak. She's facing south. He's facing north.
The Middle, Cascadia Guides, a Let's production, in conjunction with Alien Strand Films.
This is ASDP ufologist Terry Linch from Oregon. You're watching the Mothership Alien Strand Podcast with your host, Donald Ledesma.
Hi guys, welcome to this episode of Alien Strand Podcast, and this is going to be UAP Weekly number 2. All right, so today we're going to have Terry Linch going to come up here in just a minute, and we're going to talk about everything that's happened in UAP Weekly or UFO Weekly. Let's just call it that as well, right? And we have a lot of people watching already. Thank you guys. We really appreciate you guys. We couldn't do this without you guys. For one, all right. Let's just get that out as it is. Without you guys, your support and everything that we do here at Alien Strand Podcast and ASDP, we just couldn't do it without you. So, today we have, let's see who's watching right now. We got Cindy. She's watching right now. She says, good evening. We have Michael Wolf. He's there as well. Welcome. And Mr. Ryan Keaton of San Antonio. He's right on top of it. So, if you guys caught last night's podcast, was a great podcast with Miss Jody Brown. It was number 94. Okay, so that podcast was so amazing that, I was kind of blown away myself by what I was hearing and everything that, I had already interviewed her, and which was great, but she gave us a lot more insight and things that, we were trying to figure out at what was going on in her area. And she was able to put that out, to us. Now, you can also visit alienstrand.com. If you want to promote your business here, you want to be a part of this, we'll throw your commercial in the videos or in the audio, okay? Just hit us up at alienstrand.com. You'll see where you hit where it says promote, or ASDPUFO.com. Go there if you guys want to be a part of ASDP representatives, or if you want to report a UFO. Now, don't forget, catch our movie, The Middle. That's out, and it's been out since January of this year, all right? Everything's doing very well, great with the story of Mr. Terry Linch. Appreciate each and one of you guys for watching it. It's on Amazon Prime for like $2.99. Check that out. And don't forget, give us a thumbs up. We are now on 17 platforms. We are live in 5 countries with that movie. Now, if you don't get to see it in your country, go to ledsfilms.com. And you can purchase it there, and then I'll send you the link to the movie, and you can actually see it in your country, all right? We want to be able to get this out to you guys as much as possible. Don't forget, we have The Middle 2, CE3. We're putting it in, it's in production still. It's going to take a little while, but we'll get it there to you guys. So I'm still in the editing stage. We still got to go film some more, folks. And it's just one of those things, when you make a film, it's a very long process, what we're trying to do and try to put together. And my God, it can take the hairs out of my head sometimes. You see how I'm almost bald here, because I'm constantly working this and trying to get it out to you guys by this year. So I'm doing this for you guys because I want you to see exactly what these folks went through. Now, don't forget, last night's podcast is now on audio, so you can catch it on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, all those. Ask Alexa, and she'll even throw it out for you, okay? And it's very simple, man. I've done it here at home. I asked Alexa, hey, play Alien Strand Podcast. Bam, she throws it out for you. And it's just one of those things, man. Technology is a great freaking thing, man. And I love that we can do that with ASDP and Alien Strand and everything that we have to do. But today is about UAP Weekly, right? And what me and Terry Linch are going to talk about today is about a lot of UAPs. And we're going to talk about propulsion and everything. So before we get going, let's go ahead and bring him on in.
Hello, everybody out there in ASDP and everybody that has tuned in to learn something about UFOs today.
Right on. Exactly. And we hope that people learn about ufology as we're still learning. We learn every day because not every UFO is the same, or UAP. They're just totally different, and it's like, how do we distinguish one from the other? And that's the hardest part to do, when we're trying to figure out. Now, Terry, me and you, we just had a meeting with a representative that wants to be a part of ASDP. We do have 2 new, well, actually 3. So we're going to have Sue Harrison out of Ohio. We're going to have Michael Spivey out of Wisconsin. We had a meeting with him today. And we have Heather Maxwell McLennan out of Scotland. So these are the 3 people that have just joined ASDP. Welcome, guys, and I appreciate you being a part of the team. What you say there, Terry?
Well, I certainly did enjoy the conversation we just had. I want to reiterate back on Heather McLean. Heather Maxwell McLean, when I first started off in this whole field, she was one of the first people that I had made contact with. And as I was learning, I was trying to teach people the things I was learning, because this is how disclosure is supposed to work, is as fast as you learn it, you should teach it. Don't try and hold back. If it's something that if disclosure is what you're about, then the second you learn something from someone else, you should teach that to someone else. I was really grateful because Annabelle Quiones took time with me, so I started taking time with other people. And she was somebody that immediately took that information and she turned it into results like within 30 seconds of filming. Wow. She had already had 2 craft blowing past her. She's from Scotland. She was on vacation, her husband, and son. They went to. They were on the way to do an Arizona kind of tour. I think they were in like Tucson or something like that. I think that's where they were actually at that time.
Right.
Turned into a big Grand Canyon thing and all that. But she ended up with a couple of really great crafts that later on, not today, but later on when I bring this up again, I'll make sure we have pictures of what she found. After all this, this gentleman that we just interviewed to see if, kind of where his head laid on this, he seemed to be kind of like a sponge absorbing all the information I was trying to tell him. And I had to hurry as fast as I could because we're about to do the show. Right. So I was going full bore as fast as I could to give him as much information. I hope it all stuck. If not, don't worry about it. If you got questions, come back. I'll give you the answers that you have questions for. And if I don't have answers, because there is not one of us that knows everything about this. This is a collaboration of several people, several different techniques. Not one person in the world is an expert.
We have Chris Hamill saying hi. Chris Hamill is one of our ASDP ufologists out there in Australia. We love that place, and we love him, man, because of what he does. He's also he's mastering that analysis, man, just like Anibal. These are the two go-to guys as part of ASDP or anybody out there, really, in reality. He was just on a show, too, on a podcast a few weeks ago. Great podcast. So he was, Chris Hamill was on there kind of giving his analysis and his analogy of what he thinks their crafts are in the sky, everything like that. So, he's a great part of ASDP and in Australia, and he represents ASDP as far as, that. And plus, he's a great, amazing musician. His son's an amazing musician, yeah, he can play, brother. I wish I had him as a drummer.
Oh yeah, that kid could play pots and pans and make it come out sounding like he's the lead drummer of Rush.
Right on. That's exactly right. So today, we're going to talk a little bit about, what we're seeing up in the sky, as far as what's been happening lately, right? And to me, you don't see it a lot, but sometimes you do. Let's talk a little bit about the TR3B. This is actually a recent photo. I don't remember exactly where it came from, but look how close it is to the ground, man. Look at this.
That's a beautiful, beautiful sight there to see it that close.
Oh, and just imagine if that thing was in front of you. Like that, and you can see like the distortions, and even in the image there's the distortions, and it blends in. So usually on a CGI, the distortions are not going to blend in together. I don't care how many times you layer it, we'll still find the
block
it's in other words, it's the line would be way too sharp inside of the image with the distortion. So that's how a lot of it CGI. So I mean, what is your take on the TR3B, Terry?
Well, I tell you, I kind of want to think this is something that belongs to us. Only because it's because I've seen other pictures of something like that sitting on the deck of aircraft carriers. I haven't been able to analyze it to find out if that was a CGI on the aircraft carrier.
Right.
Hey, is that Chris saying hey again?
Yeah, that's him.
Okay. Well, hello, Chris. I'm really glad you're joining us because you're another one of those people that has input for this type of thing.
That's right.
So this right here, it looks like it has 3 amplifiers on the bottom, obviously where the lights are, and those amplifiers would be something like what I call him Dr. Bob Lazar. This is me getting even with the government. I don't know if he was ever actually a doctor because they erased his history. So I'm going to go with Dr. Bob Lazar.
Hey, I'll call him that
he
too.
deserves it, man. They did enough to him. He deserves being called doctor.
Damn right.
Anyway, he explains exactly how that amplifier works, and they use what's called ununatanium, and it's a element 115, or if we want to be more technical, we could call it LZ 115 after Dr. Bob Lazar.
Right.
Anyway. So anyway, what this
I think it's better than Moscovium, which is what the Russians had put out, was called Moscovium 115, and it didn't have the same kind of lifespan as ununobtainium. So when you bombard it with radiation, and they do it's called a smoke test, and they put it in a box and they try and see exactly how it's kind of like looking at the Earth's magnetic field that we have. You know how it throws out different, like the flower. They call it, the ancient term is Earth's flower, but this it throws out what looks like a flower type thing, and all these electrons and all these things are going out, and what you're seeing in the smoke test is how it creates its own gravitational field. And every one of those bright lights that you see are doing exactly just that. It's throwing out its own magnetic field, and each one of those bright lights creates what's called a magnetic flux basket. Inside of that magnetic flux basket, what happens is it removes the mass of whatever is there. And now this thing it becomes like buoyant in the atmosphere, almost like the repulsion of two magnets being pushed together. You get a cushion. Right. And when you have three of these together, it creates a cushion and stabilization. So the TRB-3, I would have to say, would probably be our version of a stable craft that runs up and down on magnetic flux tubes from the Earth to ionosphere, and can push off magnetic repulsion. So if you notice, most of the craft are kind of at an angle when they're moving, and they're moving towards the angle that they're tilted. Okay. Right. And so what's happening is they're falling into their own pathway. Yes, sir.
Do you think that, I mean, you said that you have strong possibility that it's ours, right? Those possibly could be ours. I mean, look at the photo right there on the bottom left. That looks more like a structured vehicle. The way our actually airplanes kind of look like, the B-1 bomber or whatever. So, I mean, when you look at that.
Back to Dr. Lazar, as he was working on reverse engineering, we didn't start seeing these things until after he came forward, and Art Bell and John Lear started making all of this public. I'm grateful that we had people like John Lear and people like Art Bell. These are the guys we're walking in their footsteps right now. We're trying to follow as closely as we can, because those gentlemen were, in their own way, these guys were geniuses in the world of ufology. However, Bob Lazar, he came out and he told us about this stuff, and he showed us this stuff. And again, we didn't start seeing this type of craft until after they started doing the reverse engineering. There is a whole bunch of pyramid-looking craft that are actually like a pyramid, which are similar to what we've got here, which is probably how the TR-3B came to be.
But I mean,
I don't know if this is us or not.
Look at the size of the mass of this thing. I mean, look at the size of the mass over the buildings on the top. I mean, that thing is huge. It's huge,
That's
man.
Big.
It's big. I mean, what is gonna fly like that, hover, and blend in with the clouds? Like, people are actually starting to see these kind of come through the clouds now. We've talked about how hydrogen, the water, the humidity, like we did on the past podcast with Marisol, which she talked about how humid it was inside the crafts. And then when I talked to you about it, you said, that hydrogen has a lot to do with that bubble around the craft, right? So exactly. What if that hydrogen bubble, which is water or mist, whatever you want to call it, H2O, it's making some kind of a...
Did you miss your deadline to renew your Medicaid coverage? You can still send your completed annual review form to Healthy Connections Medicaid. You may be assigned to another health plan, but you can ask to come back to First Choice within 60 days of renewed Medicaid eligibility. It's your family. It's your choice. First Choice is the right choice. Renew and choose us. Visit selecthealthofsc.com/renew to learn more.
New on Curiosity Stream. We've walked with dinosaurs. We've explored our prehistoric planet, and we were always told the same story. Extinction came from the sky. But what if dinosaurs survived? Amazing Dino World 2. Watch it now on Curiosity Stream. With monthly, annual, and bundle plans, find the one that works for you at curiositystream.com.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
It makes a distortion around the craft, keeps it within itself, right? Kind of protects it, keeps it cold in the inside, like space-time, right? That's what we talked about. It's like space-time inside this craft.
It's kind of like an inertia. It's holding you. If you're, think about being inside of a car and you can flip a coin and the coin doesn't head to the back window and take out the window.
Right.
It moves. Everything inside the car is moving at the same speed as the car. Now, if you hit the brakes, everything inside the car, poof, will hit the windshield, the dash, all of that. You take off too fast, you go backwards, However, once you find the symbiont spot, that one spot where everything's perfect, which happens easily in a car, an airplane, there's actually things that I've seen as of recent where a guy's he's in an airplane that's doing a roll, okay? And this airplane's, the wings are doing this and it does this turn. Now, while he's doing that, he's taking a soda pop and he's pouring it inside of a glass. Right. Even though he's rolling, it's still pouring into the glass the whole way. It doesn't turn the fluid, nothing. Everything stays. Okay, that's just one example of that. However, the other example I have was the Earth rotation. What happens if the Earth stops rotating? We all die.
700 mile an hour.
Stops like that, we're done.
Yeah. Yep.
We're done.
So we're gonna show a video real quick. Yeah, it's about that time. Let's go ahead and show one video. This one actually came out of Alien Strand Disclosure Project. I believe Paul shared it this morning. I believe the video's from Spain. I'm not sure, but let's go ahead and check this out. And this is what we're talking about right now, the exact conversation we're talking about. So this is going to kind of coincide with what we're talking about. Here we go. So guys, watch this.
On March 14th, a person in Salerno, Italy observed 4 dark objects in the sky that were changing direction continuously, seemingly held together by an electromagnetic force. The objects then lit up one by one, resembling flames. Researchers from CUFOM investigated and deemed the video authentic, ruling out the presence of drones or weather balloons. The sighting is considered one of the greatest UFO sightings in recent years.
You see that?
I did. That's really nice, actually. You can see where there's a little bit of a power source going towards the 2 craft at the back, and this is a belief of mine. It's called quantum locking. What happens is these craft lock together when they're together like that, and then you can see the power source on a couple of other ones, and they're pushing along, versus all of them happen to be powered at the same time. And you see a magnetic field difference.
So you think they were all kind of connected to that magnetic field in a sense, to like they were attached. Let's just say, I'm going to put it this way, like a rope. They're kind of attached like a rope, and they're going in sequence. But if you notice, they're kind of like all together. But you can see them. One fires up, the other one fires up, the other one fires up. So, it's like, man, I don't know. I'm thinking, how our planes recharge and refuel up in the sky, refuel up in the sky with a jet.
They're tethered.
What if this was what was happening to those UAPs or UFOs in the sky with each other? You know what I mean?
I could see that happening, actually. That would be a good thing. You notice how sometimes they go down to a lake or into the ocean and they go back up, and then they meet. So I think that's exactly what's going on, is they're grabbing hydrogen. And I'm thinking that maybe that hydrogen is part of what they're doing, that hydrogen has to be something to do with their fuel, possibly how they hide, maybe move, the speed. All of this stuff has to become a factor. When they come to a stop, they don't usually have that hydrogen around them.
Right.
And we start noticing a black craft like we just saw.
Right.
So,
right. I mean, and you know, it's like we're still trying to put it together. We're still trying to figure it out exactly. Because remember, they cloak in clouds. You know, clouds. What are clouds made out of?
Hydrogen.
Exactly, and that's why they blend in so well inside of a cloud, because they have that hydrogen bubble around them, right? They almost look like they dematerialize, or they're like cloaked in some sort of form, right?
Correct. Yeah, they're utilizing like mist. They utilize clouds that are above us. It's a constant place for them to hide. They use speed to hide. They can drop down into the ocean. They move just about the same speed in the ocean as they do in the skyline.
Right.
It's almost a bad thing to say, but it's a good thing to say. I believe that their craft is buoyant in our atmosphere, just like our boats are on top of water. Okay. They've found a way to utilize all the different particles. Everything here is particles. Even the sun that comes down on us is a particle. You are made of particles. You're made of several molecules.
Photons and all that good stuff.
Yeah, we are something to that effect, seeing that these things, if you see something up there, you notice if they're stationary, sometimes they kind of rock like they're in a boat.
Right.
You see them doing this twisting and turning and stuff. The closer they get to the earth, the more you see it.
Right.
The further away, the less you see it, because our eyes can only focus so far away. And the fact that they're using speed to hide from us, because if they go past us, our eyes see a bug go by, right? And unless you take, of course, a camera and you bring the shutter speed up as fast as it'll go, and all of a sudden you got slow motion effect going, and you can see things going past that you didn't see before.
Right.
This is, and my suggestion is, if you do that, aim your camera south and don't look around. Keep it stationary.
Put it on a tripod.
Look straight in one spot. Record. Right. So
talking about them fueling up and the way it looked. So we have another video here. This is an older video. I've seen it before. Somebody threw it out there this week. So I want to throw it out there to anybody that hasn't seen it. And it's going to be almost like a UFO. I can't tell. We always notice that when it's thundering and lightning or bad storms are coming, we see these things more and more in the sky in the background while it's flashing, right? Mm-hmm. So this is one of those videos. Let's go ahead and check that out.
That's good, yeah.
Is that a what the F moment?
Yeah, it sure is. It makes you have to think about what's going on every time the lightning's going on. Are they charging something up? Because it's moving through. Think of Tesla's the Tesla coil, and
right.
You see how it moves from one side and the other side at the same time, and it's trying to stay. They kind of move around, kind of parallel with one another, and I think that's what we were just saying. And I think that might be what Nikolai was trying to tell us, is that when he made this thing that's pulling all the static electricity out of the atmosphere, and you have to be firmly into the earth itself,
right?
To create this. It's not a big secret anymore. A lot of people actually understand how Tesla was talking about grabbing static electricity. I think that because of what we just saw right there, that was how he got his answer. You just hit the nail right on the head with that. That craft was getting its charge from the static out of the sky and the static that's shooting out from the Earth itself.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's whatever thing's going on there. For us, it would probably destroy whatever craft we got. But their craft is made out of, I don't know what. What are they made of? Right?
Well, Chris Hamill says, he goes, I believe they charge up from these big electrical storms. He goes, it's like fueling up the craft, right? And we know lightning doesn't strike from top down. It strikes from the bottom up, right? From the ground level straight up. So we always see those. And there's actually, they can see these charged particles from space, even above our atmosphere, that these charged particles can go straight up. They catch them through NASA all the time, man. I believe that they're fueling up somehow. And we have another ASDP ufologist. Her name's Shannon. And when I was out there filming a lot of these places, she goes, you know what I'm starting to notice when you're out there, that you're around a couple of nuclear facilities that are around the area where these people are catching these crafts. So she brought that to my attention, and it kind of gave me like an aha moment, right? Like, oh, wait a minute, you might be onto something here. So
exactly.
If they're going around these nuclear plants or facilities, or I don't know how many we have already, but why not charge from that, plutonium or whatever they're trying to get from the air, or I'm sure that thing gives off some kind of EMF around it. You know what I mean? It's almost like our 5G towers that pull off this energy
You'd have to ask the Chinese. They got more information on this than any of us.
Right. That's true.
They seem to be able to pinpoint it with a balloon.
This Magnetic Wolf says there was a video of a craft in front of the sun absorbing the sun's energy. He goes, I saw it on a UFO on another group. And we've all seen that video. Remember when it's charging up on the sun?
Yeah, that's planetary. It's the size of a planet, too, is what he's talking about. This thing's probably 10 times the size of Earth that he's talking about. And you can actually see a spherical edge to it, like a half radius is what I'd call it, because you're not seeing the other side as it's shooting past. I know exactly what you're talking about. And when we were having those really large, they're called solar mass ejection. We were having some seriously large ones that were taking place. And the federal government, I don't know about the rest of the world, but the federal government told every one of the observatories that could look at the sun, you're closed today. You're not operating today. Nobody's going to look up there today. So we actually, by the way, that's when that was filmed. Somebody's got to catch that, right? We have a guy that's on our group. His name's Brian Tissing, I believe, and he puts out a lot of stuff like that about solar flares, a lot of the things that travel through the skies, with the solar and that hit our atmosphere and the waves and everything. So I've been getting a lot of my information from his site, actually. But let's go ahead and watch this other video. This one came out of Spain. I think it's Spain, on March 16th. This year, 2023. So let's go ahead and check this out. Right on.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Okay, round 2. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry. We were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right. ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Is that freaking crazy or what, man?
That is fascinating. Didn't that look like a carousel, like the type of thing where horses and all that carousel? and like a fair or carnival type thing. It almost looked like that.
But that's in the sky.
Yeah.
It's way up. It's pointing up at the sky. Some of it I cropped out because it was a lot of wording. It was in a different language, so I kind of took that out a little bit. But he's actually pointing straight at the sky and zoomed in. So, and this thing is spinning. You know what it reminds me of?
What's that?
It reminds me of that that bluff one that from 1980s. Remember that one that's over the street? And a lot of people said it was fake.
Wasn't that down in Florida?
I think so. South Bluff or something like that. I'm trying to remember the name.
Yeah, I think it was Seabreeze, Florida.
There you go, Seabreeze. I don't know why I said Bluff, but
some of them are hard to remember. I don't know why I remember certain things, but I remember that.
It's crazy. But I mean, that's what that one reminds me of, in a sense, to what we're seeing up in the sky, or what they witnessed. That was in Spain.
Yeah. You know what? From what my understanding, this is just my understanding. I'm not exactly sure because, I haven't had a chance to meet some of these things that are coming down and ask them. But from my understanding, that style of craft is a Palladian type thing. It's like they're, what do they call them? I guess they're Palladians. They look like a Nordic type people. They're
tall. They're tall, blonde.
Yeah, they're very tall. They're tall. I think they're like a tall white or something to that effect. I'm not sure exactly if that's what they are, but I've gotten a lot of reports about that being a Palladian type vehicle, and those would be the people that had the war, according to all of our ufologists and things, and histories of ufology type thing, that had the war with the Anunnaki. They were the ones that were supposedly the ones that took them out. And I don't want to get too far into that because I'll have a bunch of Christian people saying that's not what happened, and it really screws up their story. Even the dinosaurs screw up their story, but we'll get past that.
Well, I mean, it's just it's something that's in the books.
It's just a story. Yeah, books. I mean, you can look at all kinds of different things. We both have read the Book of Enoch. You did a whole show on Enoch.
Yes.
Well, there's also the whole Epic of Gilgamesh. That's also the same time frame as this Enoch stuff. Well, actually, it's a little newer, but Enoch himself was a giant. They didn't come from here; they were brought here, and they were part of the old Earth. They're starting to find these giant bones all over the planet. They're finding them in China. They're finding them. I say the closest place you'll find the giant bones would be to us, or to me would be Idaho. To you would be like Ohio, right. Where they have the mound builders. That it turns out that those are large graves, is what they are. That turned into a monument that they want to call the mounds. But when they dig into this, they find giant bones.
Well, people talk about, the people from the past, things like that. And where it all started, it all came from. But what we're seeing now today are like totally different crafts of what we're catching in the sky. I
like to call it the third eye. When you start seeing these things, your mind starts to expand. You become awoke. Okay, not woke. Awoken. I don't want people to mix those two up. This is you and your inner eye opening up your mind. We have inside of our head, we have a Palladian. There's a gland inside of our head that helps us with seeing these things, seeing things that you don't normally see. We activate this by seeing these things, and after a while, after seeing them several times, you can almost go outside and look up at the sky, close your eyes for a minute. You don't have to look. Just close your eyes for a minute and concentrate on what you want to see, and then tell them, okay, I've already seen you. You've shown yourself to me before. You can say it out loud. You can say it in your head. You can do whatever you want, but then wait a few minutes and watch what happens next. Okay, you have to see them first. If you don't see them first, it's not going to kick in.
That's true. So we have this.
The pineal gland. That's what I was trying to remember.
I was just gonna say that. So when we talked about the new ufologists coming into ASDP, right, and we welcome them, but a lot of them are just starting off still. As far as they're trying to understand how ufology works, how your camera catches these images, how we're able to distinguish a UFO from an airplane or anything like that, because we have to use all these apps now, which help, man. They're actually a part of our tools, right? If we didn't have
I believe they gave this to us so we would be able to see them. The technology, we wouldn't have this technology, I believe, if we hadn't had some kind of contact. Think about the last 200 years of this world, where we've gone. We went from horse and buggy to horse and buggy from way back, and now we got horse and buggy to stealth fighter. How many years were we horse and buggy before we had stealth fighter from horse and buggy?
Well, I'm having some technical difficulties with my microphone. I'm hearing a lot of feedback. So I don't know what's going on. So we're going to go ahead and just end the show. Oh, you want to end it, Terry?
Yes, I want to make sure that everybody knows that you are watching Alien Strand Podcast. This is the mothership, and you just got disclosure. Tune back in with us again next week and find out more about disclosure, and we'll bring to you more information. We're going to be paying attention to everything that's going on throughout the week. Anybody who wants to give a report to us, we are on ASDP.com. You can find our website. You can find us out on Facebook, and we'll respond. If you've got yourself a good story, contact either me, Terry Linch, ASDP ufologist from Oregon, or contact Donald Ledesma, ASDP ufologist from Texas. Looking forward to hear your disclosure.
Hi, this is ASDP ufologist Jody Brown from Arizona, and you are watching Alien Strand Podcast with host Donald Ledesma.
AlienStrand.com, the official website.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.